everyone, and welcome to episode 158 of LostinTranslationmon. I'm May.
And I'm Jay.
And this time we watched We, the Digimon Hunters.
Or the Studs.
And because we're not doing the dub anymore because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, on to the next Japanese title. The Studs Disappear. The Wavering Shadow of Seigo Man.
And the Robot Club's Dream, Pinocchiomon's Enticement. Almost said excitement.
He's pretty excited.
He's pretty excited. And Taiki's a little bit racist. Because he says, hey, that's the same Pinocchiomon, but it's okay, because apparently is only one Pinocchiomon, apparently.
I mean, I would expect Shoutmon to be able to tell the difference, and he probably would have said something.
Oh, yeah, true.
But also, yeah, I also thought he was kind of racist.
The dub is dunzos. There's no stupid pun or reference name. I wonder how these episodes would have been called The Darkest Before Dawn. I don't know. Somehow, I'm sure.
End of the season.
They do like it. End of the season. All the last episodes are just called The Darkest Before Dawn.
And the last episode should just be called Dawn.
Yeah.
Actually, the last episode of the last bit should have been called The Dawn Before the Darkness.
Oh my god. No, why? Don't do this to me. Don't ever write for Digimon.
Well, the darkness is just Tagiru, right?
The dankness before the
My
dawn. My
god, he is so painful in episode 1.
I told you he's Daisuke.
It's really weird. I feel like episode 1 was a pilot, and then they made tons of changes from episode 2 onwards.
Really?
Because it feels totally different from episode 1 to 2.
Really?
Yeah, we can discuss it in more detail if you want.
We'll discuss that when we get to it, I guess.
Probably at the end when you ask me, what did you think of this character, and I go nuts on him.
Well, he is just Daisuke again. Do you like Daisuke?
It's been such a long time. I wish I could just forget.
Yeah. Well, he's even got a partner which is better than him, and that's Gumdramon being Vmon.
Yeah, he just has Vmon, basically.
Yep.
I want to say the Gumdramon's design is amazing, but it's funny that basically it's Vmon's design, which is pretty good,
yeah.
And then with some extra stuff stapled onto it, which just doesn't drag it down.
It's just Vmon and Shoutmon.
Yeah, it's not even really... it's a bit Shoutmon, I guess.
He's got a thing on his tail that he can use as a weapon.
Mostly, the thing I like about it is it's Vmon in a vest.
Yeah.
I love the vest. It's very cute.
Anyway, we'll talk about that more later.
His evolutions suck, though.
On to Obnoxious Synopsis.
Okay.
The first episode that we'll be watching this week is called We, the Digimon Hunters. What do you think will happen this episode?
We're going to meet new characters. You know, without the English names, it's going to be, like, impossible to guess, because the Japanese names tell you so little.
Oh, we've got some pretty descriptive names coming up in this season, so this shouldn't be too bad. How many characters do you think will be introduced?
How many characters are there in the images that you've shown me so far?
There's you, there's Taiki, there's Daisuke 2.0.
There are 6 on the poster.
Yeah. We're
going to be introduced to 4 of them, including Taiki.
And what character types do you think they'll be compared to what we know about other Digimon seasons, where we've got, very specific character roles that each character plays?
What, you mean Taiki, Daisuke, TK, what's his name? Iori, another Matt/Toma character, and the Silverhead guy, and then that's not quite Nene with the blonde hair, but because Nene's a good character, and this one is clearly garbage. So she must be a Miyako.
She's actually probably one of the only characters which doesn't necessarily fit in with any other role that another Digimon character's been given before.
She's actually new?
Yeah, she's not just spot on with the Silverhead guy being Matt, by the way. Just congratulations.
You can see it in his dumb face.
I guess you could say the other one was Iori by the fact he doesn't have a character.
It's the hat, but also, wow, that's fair enough.
Iori doesn't have a hat.
Wait, who has the hat? Who has
Tomoki.
this exact hat?
Tomoki.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, no, it's
also
not.
0 character. Actually, slightly more than Iori, to be fair.
He had good character, he had moments. I like Tommy.
He had 1 episode.
Yeah, well, he had more than 1, but the point is... Yeah,
1.5.
No, he had the Burger episode as well. And the game episode, and the episode where we know that his brother's possibly mean, possibly just a normal guy.
How great is it that we get another season with the robot poop?
Yay! Do you think anything will annoy you in this episode?
I bet the new Davis will, with every single word he says.
Yep. At least it's not a dub. At least we don't get to have him being annoying in the English.
You know what? That's really fair.
Have I mentioned his name before?
probably like 8 times. I have no
Would you like to
recollection
try
of
and
it.
guess what, as the usual themes of naming conventions go for the Gold Kid?
I hope his name is Daisuke.
Well, Davis is the English name, so try again.
Wait, that's his English name, and wait, he doesn't have an English name. Okay, so is it Taki?
Almost, I guess, sort of, in the fact that it's Taigeru.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Taigeru. His name is Tiger?
Yeah. Well, not really. Taigeru means, I think it's like overwhelming, like in terms of like power and stuff, but I might be wrong.
But if he was in English, his name would be Tiger.
Oh, yeah, probably, yeah.
Wow. Hey, Tiger.
But yeah, that's his name. But yeah, it's got Tai, which is the almost compulsory part except for Masaru, but I think the kanji's the same or something. I can't remember. Anyway, so do you think it'll be a good episode?
No, of course not. I don't think a single... We actually have to remove that question because I'm never going to answer yes.
Aww.
Even if I really enjoy these, which I won't, I'm still saying no because Digimon has completely lost me.
Except for like Savers and Atmon and Tamers.
I mean, like, in this timeline, you know?
Oh yeah, in Xros Wars.
Where Digimon takes its massive nosedive over the course of like 5 seasons.
Well, this is the part where people who love Digimon say it's bad.
If this is like a whole train wreck of just constant ones, I will be so happy. But I expect it's going to be the most boring sludge trail of all time.
Yeah, well, people say it's worse than Frontier. I would disagree, but
if they don't get bounced off the ground into space by the bad guys' lasers, it's not as bad as Frontier.
True. What rating do you think we'll give it? And don't just say 1.
0.
I was going to say don't say 0 either. Okay.
Fine, you know what? It'll introduce new characters and it will do its best.
0.5.
3.
Okay, that's hopeful, almost, sort of, I guess.
Wow, unbelievable. How optimistic is 3?
What world are we in where a 3 is an optimistic guess now?
A 3 is a high ranking for this show now.
Woof. Filler or not filler?
Okay, so it physically can't be, but it is.
Oh no.
This entire season is filler.
It's like the Royal Knights arc. That's sad.
The Royal Knights arc wasn't all filler. It was just almost all filler, and no part of it was uniquely not filler.
Okay. The second episode we're watching this week is called The Students Disappear, The Wavering Shadow of Sagomon. What do you think will happen this episode?
So, I think that they all disappear. I want to say that Sagomon is Matt's evolved Digimon in the coat, but I assume that that'll be a later episode. But it would be cool, because the coat's actually sick.
Oh yeah, Astamon's pretty cool.
I love this weird design of Beelzemon in a coat. It's completely out of place with all the other Digimon. So it would kind of make sense because he's in this promotional image where everyone else has their like child forms, and instead of having the Gabumon, fake Gabumon thing, he's in the full form. So I'm guessing it's this guy.
Okay.
Because he looks creepy and evil, and then they're going to spend the first 5 episodes becoming friends with Matt because he's obviously a dick.
Yeah, well, he's the Matt.
His Digimon has a gun!
Yeah, to be fair, I was actually thinking about this when I was watching this, and he has like an AK-47 or something.
That's a Tommy gun, but yeah.
No, okay, I don't know. It's an assault rifle. It's an assault rifle. I don't know.
It's actually not, it's a submachine gun.
Oh, well, it makes lots of bullets really, really, really fast. And
correct.
Maybe that's why we never got a dub.
Wow, but it could just make him scratch himself a lot.
Oh, like pistols and shotguns, they're slow, right? You can get them in Australia, like eventually.
Yes.
But you can't get an assault weapon in Australia. So
yes.
So, you know, pistols and shotguns are one thing, but I think assault rifles are just like, they're just to kill people. So maybe that's why we didn't get a dub.
Yeah, I don't think Australia's gun laws are why we didn't get a dub.
No, I was just referencing Australia's gun laws and saying that shotguns...
No, and then you said maybe that's why. But that doesn't make any sense, because they love guns in America.
I know, I was just saying they're on different levels. Like, you know, pistols and shotguns are on a lower level than assault weapons.
Are you trying to distinguish this Beelzemon from the other Beelzemon with 2 shotguns?
Yes.
To be fair, that did shoot the slowest bullets of all time.
That was dramatic.
It wasn't.
Oh, I thought it was on purpose.
Those are huge lies.
I was always just saying it's on purpose because it sounds better. Do you think anything will annoy you about this episode?
Yes. Every time Tiger speaks. Did we already ask this question?
For the first episode, yes. This is the second episode.
Oh, yeah, we're going to take out all these questions. I don't think it's a good episode. It's rated a 0. The thing that annoys me is every time Tiger speaks. Every question is answered in advance. Let's
But
go.
filler or not filler?
It's also filler. That question's also answered in advance. We know this because the whole season is filler, which is amazing because this means it's the first filler finale of anything.
Aw.
The
Yikes.
entire last season is filler. Now that's bold, and no one has ever made that mistake again.
I've already said that the only episodes that aren't filler in this whole season are like the last 5 episodes, like from episode 20 onwards.
And that's how I know.
Yeah. That's how you know. The third episode that we're watching this time is called The Robots Club Dream.
Robot Club's
The Robot
Dream.
Club's Dream, Pinocchiomon's Enticement. What do you think will happen
What
this
does
episode?
that mean? The problem is I have no context for anything that's happening because we haven't started watching it. So I couldn't tell you what happens in episode 3 when I don't even know what happens in episode 1.
Hey Jay, remember that thing I told you about this season?
So yeah, basically
Monster
the
of
only
the
thing...
Week.
The thing I can
do
guess.
you remember when I said that?
Oh, okay. So there's a robot club, right? And that's in their school, and the club activity is like putting together those Lego robots to like to have like a soccer game, or that it's probably less complicated than that. It's probably like little Gundam figures or something. That makes more sense. And Pinocchimon being the L virus app for that week is going to take over their robots and start messing with them. Then the kids have to go into the robot club and beat them up in the AR field.
Yeah, it's very copy-paste. Each episode is Monster of the Week does something to the real world in the way that
bothers a different club.
Like, all the Atmon Monster of the Week episodes followed the exact same storyline that the majority of episodes in Young Hunters does, and that's sad, but Atmon did it well.
Because they weaved in other stuff.
Yeah, they weaved in actual plot.
And also the things that were bothering them were like real world stuff, so you would understand it. It was funny to see Afro Guy get messed with real things like his map app breaking.
Oh yeah.
Whereas you can't have that empathy for someone who's bothered by an evil talking robot.
I mean, sometimes it sort of bothers them in real world ways, but not as well as the apps, because that made sense. This is just like influences. It's like Yokai Watch.
That's the show that no one watches and the game no one plays.
Oh,
no one,
no,
definitely.
It's huge in
No, no one plays it.
So
now you can take that two ways. Either it's unpopular, or no one, or the people in Japan don't count.
What will annoy you in this episode?
I think it might be every time Tigeru speaks.
Oh, do you think it'll be a good episode?
No.
Rating?
0.
Filler?
Yes.
Okay. And any other predictions?
Well, how could I? How could I physically have predictions?
All right.
The fact that I've gotten this far is amazing.
Okay, on to the show. So the first episode of Young Hunters starts off with us finding out it's been a year, and I have no idea how you appears to have grown like 5 years.
Well,
Did you notice that?
A year when you're... How old was he?
He was a year younger than Tagaru, so he's like
Are you serious?
11.
I thought he was 8. Alright, so he's 12 now?
Yeah. He's
between
now
11 and 12 is a big difference, but like still...
Well, you was in the 7th grade, so that's 12, and he was 11 in the first season. I don't think that I'm not sure how anybody grows that much in a year, because he looked... Okay, you take
the baby's double in size in a year?
Yeah, but he's 11.
That's anyone.
Okay, but I'm just saying, take Takaru, take Hikari, and take Iori.
Puberty is a hell of a drug.
Apparently, like, you just got, like, all this puberty all of a sudden. And apparently he didn't just get, like...
Finally, I waited 25 years.
He got, like... He got it all at once. He was, like, he just got the puberty all of a sudden.
He drank that puberty juice.
Yeah. It's
so,
just
can we talk about how the show really opens with this basketball game?
Oh, yeah, sure, go
AKA
ahead.
the death of a metaphor.
Yep.
So...
Oh, no, I kind of like it, how the team is called Crossheart. I kind of dig that.
Okay, so what you like is a ham-fisted reference.
Me or the character?
You just said it.
Right, gotcha.
So, but here's the problem. What was basketball in Season 1?
It's a sport where you try to get an orange ball through the hoop.
I cannot believe... Okay, no. Basketball was just a method to show you that Taiki wanted to help people and couldn't help it. He didn't play basketball. That wasn't his thing. And all he did was practice one move, and that showed his like devotion to it, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that was the first time he's ever played basketball. You're right.
And the only reason you would start this part with basketball is as a callback to that. But Taiki doesn't play basketball. That was a one-off thing about his character. Now, instead, they're using that as a completely different metaphor to show who I call him Tiger in all my notes.
That's his name.
Yeah, they show you what his character is, but they show it in a way worse way because there's zero realism to it all. He does completely insane stuff within a basketball perspective that is only tempered by hilarious clown physics, so that they can give you the metaphor without having to write it well at all. Okay, here's the deal, right? In basketball, if you're one person with the ball charging at 2 defenders, there's only 5 players on each side. That means one of your friends is free.
You played basketball, didn't you?
Yeah. So
yeah, see, I know nothing about basketball.
You don't charge at 2 defenders. That's crazy. Second, you notice how he jumps to dunk and he goes above the ring?
Yep.
Yeah, I know it's actually a cartoon, but we're trying to show kids and make you understand what they're like. And in going so high, he gets above the ring. Someone eats his foot.
Yes.
Physically bites it. Which, by the way, is against the rules of basketball. I don't know if you know that.
No, he's just,
the referee would have called that as a foul, but it doesn't matter. So he crashes his face into the backboard, after which Taiki, completely unguarded suddenly, can just dunk it free. All of that was like Space Jam level stretching arms over the entire court level cartoons.
Yeah.
Which the only thing it tells you is everything that's going to happen for the first half of the season is that Tagiru is going to do the stupidest thing you could possibly imagine, which makes no sense, and then Taiki will bail him out. Yes. And it's exactly what happens in the next two episodes.
Yep.
And it's this really cynical reach for like, oh, you remember basketball, you remember Team Crossheart, right? We will insert those things in here without having any understanding of why they were important and what they were meant. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of the themes of their own show.
Oh yeah, I didn't even get that, but no, that's super right. I have nothing else to say. You're pretty spot on. I didn't even interpret it, but I did like the random physics.
Of course. It's also particularly frustrating that then after the game, when Tiger has completely screwed it up, he's like, yeah, 26 wins in a row.
Yeah, and you just like, but it was all Taiki, you suck, and you're also copying his goggles.
Also, all the girls call you Summer. Why do they do that?
I thought it was Senpai.
Okay, I thought it was Senpai in the first one as well. They definitely say Sama in the 3rd episode.
That is weird. That is weird.
It's really weird.
I guess they all have a crush on him then?
Second episode. They 100% call him that.
That's weird. Like, that is just... Yeah, I
thought you would have caught that.
No, I thought it was Senpai. I might have misheard.
Because in the English translation, it's Sir You, which I thought, that's an interesting way of looking at it.
Yes, well, Sir would be Sama, yeah.
And I thought it was Senpai, and I was like, oh, they're just not translating it well, because how do you actually translate Senpai?
It's like senior, like upperclassman?
Yeah, but they're in the same year, which is kind of why I thought it was odd that they were calling him that, and I thought that was why they called it out. Yeah, they just used this, and I thought it was like this one girl who's into him. In episode 2, it's 2 girls who are both saying it.
I think he's meant to be, like, kind of a babe now, which is really weird because, as I said, he looked like he was about 8 in the first season, and all of a sudden, he's 11.
Puberty hit him like a goddamn wrecking ball.
I'm not sure if he was actually ever given an age in the first season, but it's almost like they just wanted to make him a year younger than Taiki in this season for some reason.
I feel like he was multiple years younger before.
Yeah, must be the case, right?
I think so. Like... It's unlikely, I think, that if he's the same age as Nene, and he is, right?
No, he'll be a year... I'm pretty sure Nene is the same age as Taiki.
That's what I'm saying. Literally what I said to you just now.
Yeah, he's a year younger than Nene.
Oh, so, okay, because I'm like, it's less likely that you have kids directly after each other. Sometimes there's like a year or so between those times.
Well, Nene would be a year older than him, so I guess kind of if you immediately got pregnant again.
So it's like possible, but... I don't know.
I know, but that's not the point. I feel like the writers actually said, well, we never gave him an age, and we don't want the age difference between the new Goggle Kid and Taiki to be too different. So let's make him like super old now, apparently. And it just looks weird. Like in 02, that was 3 years difference. It was 1999 when you first met him, and now it's 2002. That's 3 years, so from TK to become 3 years older, that's the legitimate look. He looked like he was 8, and now he looks like he's 11. In this, it's just like they gave him the 3 years, but didn't change the year. I don't know. It's weird.
There's something to be said that he was in the digital world longer than everyone else. but not by that much.
I don't think time actually moved. Like, in the digital world, I don't think your age will change.
Oh, so it's like Neverland?
Yeah, I feel like it's Neverland.
Huh.
Though
Sucks.
arguably Kiriha and Nene did look a little bit older, maybe?
No, they just changed outfits.
Yeah, I still don't know how they did that. I want to say that Nene just made them.
She could.
Yeah, she 100% could. So, yeah, Tigeru was passed out, so he thinks it's his win. And Taiki said he had faith in Tigeru, and because seeing him sort of reminds him like someone that he used to know, which is Shoutmon. And then Taiki sees a possible Digimon, and somebody's chasing it. And we see the new Yamato character, who just acts like a Yamato character. And he has grey hair, which is new for a Yamato character, but he is the Yamato character. And he's going on a hunt, apparently. Then we see Tigeru in an arcade, and he's playing pinball. And he says he wants to outdo Taiki, and Yu is saying he's way behind. And I want to point out that they look pretty close. Like, Yu and Tigeru look pretty close in this episode, right?
Not
and
really?
No, like, they're not fighting, though. They
wow,
wouldn't...
your idea of close is very broad.
But no, my point is, if you saw, like, they are being friendly.
They know each other, because they're on the same basketball team.
Which is weird, because in 2 episodes, and I'm just remembering this now, they actively say, I am not his friend, and they're fighting all of a sudden. Because
they might be rivalry.
They realised they needed to make the blonde kid fight with the brunette.
Oh, yeah.
And I only just realised that when I'm remembering this scene in the arcade where they're just, like, kind of just hanging out like friends. Like, I wouldn't... Okay, maybe not best friends, but people who are friends.
Look, you can chill on the best friend. Chill on the best friend.
So, you were saying that he loves games, so well done show actually keeping something consistent between the seasons.
Yeah, but next episode, when he says it again, it's going to be really annoying.
And he says that Tigeru doesn't know the true meaning of Crossheart or Taiki's goggles, and...
Yeah, he says he just copied his goggles. This was in the pinball scene, right?
Yeah. Where we have background characters that look identical to Joe and Mimi.
Also, we find out that Tiger's entire character arc is, I want to be better than Taiki at something.
Yep.
Which is amazing. That means either he's only interested in exactly the same stuff, or Taiki is literally the best at everything.
Yeah. Did you see the Joe and Mimi background characters?
No, not at all.
Not at all? I will send you a photo, because it is interesting. So we see that another one of the weird kids that we don't know the names of there and following some Digimon, and they're hunting, I guess. And you notices that one of them has a crossloader, and it's a girl. So we know that there's a girl in the season.
You know what's particularly... we knew that already from the poster.
She wears pink.
Yeah, well... what's particularly frustrating about this season so far is we're 3 episodes in, and they're talking about hunting, and, like, there's no purpose behind it at all. Nothing. And I know you told me, oh, you don't find the plot until later. I kind of thought you were joking.
Oh, no. I think I said a couple of times last episode, by the way, I'm not joking, they don't introduce plot until episode 20.
But I really, really thought that, like, they would introduce, like, here's the bad guy, but we'll ignore them, right? But they exist. No, they're literally just, like, complete nobodies.
These 3 episodes give you a sort of idea of the plot in the way that the hunt is a game that Taiki can't play because he's OP.
I love that they actually tell him that. The watchmaker in episode 2, goes, hey, you're way too strong for this, and I'm very interested in keeping it balanced.
Yep. Like, that's just 100% what's going on. I just linked a picture of the Mimi and Joe in the Discord if you want to look at it, by the way.
I don't, but I will... Oh, God, that is just Mimi, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, and Joe's also there. Like, he's...
Oh, so it is.
He's also not... He's playing the machine, but he's not actually touching any of the joystick because it's part of the background.
I mean, I could imagine sitting there like that if you were, like, frustrated about something and just, like, watching what was happening, but also the screen's off.
Yes. All the screens are off in the arcade.
I mean, the one that Mimi's in front of looks like it's on.
Possibly, but the point is Mimi's there. Oh no, maybe, maybe. But yeah, that's Mimi and Joe. I'm not sure. It's too alike to be not on purpose, right?
I would. Mimi's design is very specific. You're probably right.
Yeah, and even the Joe, like, he's got He's a sort of more of a generic one, but he just has the same hair as 02 Joe. It's like how a character who looks similar to Ruki showed up in, I think it was Revenge of Diaboromon, which came out before Tamers, but it doesn't look as much like Ruki as these two look like Joe and Mimi. But yeah, it's just something I thought was interesting to note. Anyway, so Tigeru goes to the digital world, but it's not exactly the digital world, it's the AR field in Atmon, but I think it's called the Digicourts in Hunters, but I just can't quite remember.
The Digiquartz is the dumbest name.
Yeah, I liked AR field.
But,
a lot.
Digiquartz... Quartz is just like a stone? Okay, I guess the question is, forgive me for looking this up, is how much quartz is used in watchmaking?
That's actually a good point, because it's kind of got that watchmaker guy.
Right. You would have a quartz clock. That's
Maybe.
exactly why it's this, because there's like a time thing.
Yeah.
I still don't know why it's called the Young Hunters Who Leapt Through Time, because there is absolutely zero time element to this at all. It is a space element.
Yes. Correct. Yes. I'm not even going to argue, yes, correct. They have watches, I guess. We have the watchmaker, who is just like the old guy in Data Squad who gave the Digivices a little bit. Anyway, so the kid from before is there, and something tackles Tigeru, and this is Gumdramon, and he's great. A metal Tyrannomon's there, and it's above the other kids, and the grey-haired boy releases Astamon, who is Baller, and I'm pretty sure the reason why we don't get a dub is because he has, and I believe I mentioned this in the last episode, assault rifles. Right?
Assault rifles?
His weapon is assault rifles, right?
Who?
Astamon.
Is that... Oh, you mean Arrestmon?
Pardon?
Arrestmon?
No, Astamon, the one that the grey-haired boy has.
Oh, the gangster. It's not an assault
the
rifle. That's why I'm confused.
Pardon?
I know it's I know it's like a gun that shoots lots of bullets, but it's not actually an assault
weapon.
It's a submachine gun.
I played PUBG. That's
It's
my
actually,
knowledge
you know
of
what's
guns.
easier? Well, that Tommy guns are in that. But the
Yeah,
point
I
is,
know.
a Tommy gun is like the old gangster gun, and that's... I don't know why that actually confused me, but it did.
No, that's true. Anyway, so Tiger is really into this fight, like he gets really excited, and it seems that Gumdramon's planning something because he wants to hunt too. The Metal Tyrannomon escapes, and the grey-haired guy says it's not a game, and then this pink girl who has blonde hair is saying how she wants Gumdramon because he's cute.
So does Tiger know what Digimon are?
No.
Why is this his reaction then?
Because he's excited. And
He
he's
goes,
dumb.
Digimon? Cool! It doesn't blow his mind that this stuff exists.
Well, to be fair, no one in Digimon has one character in Digimon has had a completely accurate, reaction to the fact that they are monsters fighting.
I mean,
and
everyone
that's
in
Joe.
Adventure?
I don't know, I feel like some of the kids were just sort of either didn't react to it or were interested by it.
I think maybe we skipped a few of their reactions, but all of them were, careful about it at the very least. They're like, I don't know about this.
Joe always was like... But they got used to it pretty quickly. They're like, I guess this is our life now. Joe was the only one who took, 10 episodes to be like, hey, guys,
Yeah, but none of them
die.
were just like... In fact, no season has ever been this immediately accepting of everything that is happening.
Takato. But he knows what Digimon is.
Yeah, but even he had a mob... he had a moment of is this real? Is this really happening? And he was scared.
Actually, I'm pretty sure Takuya was also fine.
Wait, which one has Gilmon?
Gilmon was Tamers.
I mean the name.
Takato.
Takato was scared of Gilmon initially. He had a reasonable reaction to a dinosaur. Even if he thought it was cool, he's like, I'm in danger here.
Oh yeah, no,
Tiger
that
is
is
so stupid.
Oh, definitely. Daisuke also did not react much.
You sure?
Daisuke, yes. He just sort of was there and he was like, hey, this is cool, I get clothing change. Also, I'm with Hikari.
Oh yeah, well he was distracted. Fair enough.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember other reactions. Oh, Masaru had a great reaction. He just hey, I don't know what you are, but I'm gonna punch you.
That was great, actually.
Yeah, he was just like, hey, I don't care what you are, who you are, why you look like that, why is your face like that, you're some weird frog, I'm gonna punch you. It was great. It was fantastic. Haru I feel like, started screaming about Gatchmon. Yes, he did! He started screaming! He hid under his bed, it was great!
It jumped at him out of a watch. What's he gonna do?
He was like, you're my buddy! And Haru was like, what is this? It was great.
Continue though. Now we've covered the reaction, which is what I wanted to get to.
I'm just thinking. Yeah. Okay. So, so Tigeru wants to join in, and Gumdramon also wants him to join in the hunt. Then in the real world, he's small now, and it's just like Atmon again. Remember how when they went to the real world, they were sort of in their chips and they were kind of mini? Yeah, we get that again. Even though Atmon sort of was similar to like this, and also after it was still better. And so we see an old man, and he time shifts to the real world.
Why is it called time shift? The time appears to move exactly the same.
I don't actually know, and I've seen this season.
Because, like, you would think that if time moved differently, then the Digimon wouldn't react the way they do in the AR field to humans.
Yep.
And the humans would be gone a lot longer, which they're not.
Yep.
Or they wouldn't be gone, like, for any time at all, because once they're in the AR field, it should, 6 months should go by, and it was really 10 minutes.
What was the time shift called in Atmon?
Didn't have one. You just go to the AR field, right?
I think it was just, maybe it was AR field open or something.
Yeah, I think so.
It was something like that, but they didn't have to come up with a name. I can't quite remember what it was though. Anyway, so we find out the Digicorps is where Digimon live, and this clock store owner warns him, and Tigeru says he just wants to have fun. He's not worried at all about what's happening. He's completely okay with this, by the way.
Everything is totally... The one thing I like at this point is Gumdramon, who clearly thinks very little of Tiger.
Yes.
Which he immediately gets over as of, like, next episode.
Yeah, because he gets the power.
Very reminiscent of Shoutmon, actually, where it's like, I have a goal, and then once one episode in, he's like, haha, we're best friends now.
Okay, no, I do get what you mean. Meanwhile, there's a Digimon, which is Metal Tyrannomon, and Taiki can see him with his crossloader, and then they see Tigeru time shift. They go to hunt the Metal Tyrannomon, and Gumdramon thinks that humans can fly for some reason, and he has a Sonic the Hedgehog attack. That's the only way I can describe it as. Metal Tyrannomon breaks up Gumdramon's tail, which is pretty metal, considering in the animation we don't get much actual gore. I guess it's not really gore, but it's like body destruction. I don't know. Tigeru saves him and says that he's similar to Gumdramon because he's also impulsive. And Tigeru says they should fight together and stand together as partners. And this part really, really, really annoyed me. You want to know why?
Please.
The legendary super evolution that's so rare in the first season, and it always basically needed divine intervention.
Yeah, it just happens.
Yeah, it just happens for this guy. This guy who knows this purple thing for about 2 seconds, as opposed to Taiki and Shoutmon, who I want to say that's like the 6 months they spend together fighting together as partners.
Yeah, because they had to use cross-loading until then. And
then they still get the power from a Megamon? And they don't know how to evolve until a Megamon gives them that power. And similar story for Z Greymon. He needs like this beautiful moment in order to activate it.
This is what I'm talking about writers who do not understand the themes of their own show.
Yes.
They don't get, if anything made the show special, everything that was even vaguely good about the last season, they're like, whatever, just jam it in now, because it was alright then, it must be great for the episode 1 now, for totally new characters.
Yeah.
To be honest, there are some good things in this season so far, and it's almost all Shoutmon.
Oh, yeah. And I also do like the fact that in Xros Wars Part 1, there was that whole army dynamic. Like, I think that was cool.
But it wasn't really.
Could have been done better.
Yes, and it couldn't have been done much worse.
It was generic.
It was basically ignored most of the time.
Yeah, especially in the second part where it's just like, hey, we can like super evolve now, which is annoying.
The big problem was that every fight was decided like ancient battles with a champion, where like, oh, we have a whole army, but what we're going to do instead is have our 2 strongest fight, and everyone else will just stand and watch. Because, like, the big bad guy who's fighting as champion will just eat his entire army, so which automatically defeats them so you don't have to.
Yeah.
And, like, that's not how armies work. Armies work because there's lots of people everywhere.
Anyway, my point is that we have this divine evolution that Shoutmon and Taiki worked towards and still needed divine intervention. And now Gumdramon and Taiki have basically just said, hey, let's die together. Because we're impulsive and stupid, and they get to evolve, and he evolves to a Restamon.
I guess because it's a hunt. Okay, so here's the thing, and I know it's about to happen, but I really want to talk about what hunting is, because what's the example that we saw earlier like, recount it vaguely. What is hunting a Digimon from the perspective of those three people that Tiger was watching hunt? Do you want me to just say it?
Yeah, go ahead, because we
So,
don't know what hunting is basically in this
hunting
season.
is capturing, right?
Yes.
Where you put rings around this thing and you kind of fight it, but it's a trapping
It's Pokemon.
mechanism. It is. In fact, this entire thing is actually just Pokemon. It's hilarious that you've never said, by the way, this part of the season is Pokemon, because it is. And then what happens at the end of this episode? They, I want to say kill, but they do what is traditionally killing a Digimon.
Yes.
And that captures it. Which
And
begs the question, why didn't the other three do that?
I don't know, but also the point is that you killed Digimon in Xros Wars, and you didn't want that. In order for them to join you, you had to be their friend.
Yeah, which is what they refer to at the end of episode 3, where Taiki captured Puppetmon's heart. But, like, the fact that they just kill it, which takes away everything even, like, vaguely different about it being a hunt. So, if you kill a Digimon, it becomes yours. That's the mechanic of the season.
Yes.
And so you didn't become friends with it, you beat it up. And no matter how much it hated you, now you own it.
Yes.
In fact, it's worse than Pokemon, because in Pokemon, at least Charizard would argue.
Yes. You were immediately best friends with this monster that was trying to kill you before. And Metal Tyrannomon is more or less like in the old seasons, where whenever we had like a mindless Digimon, it just roared, it didn't talk, it just was bent on destruction because it was just a mindless monster. And now
we're
not meant to be friends with them. We're meant to like have them as an obstacle and then get rid of them, and we befriend the ones that have sentience.
It's clear though that the Digimon next episode has sentience by the way it behaves, but it also doesn't talk.
Yes.
All three Digimon that Tiger gets over the course of this can't talk.
Yeah, they don't have characters.
What the hell?
Which was something I liked about Xros Wars, is that, especially in the first part, when you befriended a Digimon, they had a personality. Kamimon was adorable. Well, Chibi Kamimon, rather. And then we had Digimon that were challenged to become friends with Digimon that weren't challengers. Bielsamon, who was kind of a bad guy, but came along for the ride. But they all had characters. They were befriended, not defeated. They were won over by Taiki just saying, I just want to help people who can't help themselves, and I can't turn my back on anyone. And everyone just went, that is great, and I'm your best friend now. And I liked that. And even Kiriha, he also won over someone. He won over Dracomon, and Nene won over Mervamon, and that was great. They had characters. Young Hunters is more or less just like, this is a Digimon causing trouble. We have to kill it and make friends with it. And I guess Atmon was also like this. This is an Atmon who is causing trouble, and now we have to defeat it. But at least in Atmon, they were infected, and they just had to they beaten up until they started vomiting out the evil, which is what happened.
I forgot. the bomb, the countdown.
Yeah. And then they caught them. But they didn't kill them. They just had to beat them up until they vomited.
Yeah, and then they became good friends.
Yes. Anyway, so the Metal Tyrannomon begins to dissolve, and they capture him. And the pink girl says the evolution of Gumshamon isn't cute. And Ren just calls out the pink girl and says, you're one to talk. Because we see the Digimon that she has as evolution, and it's not cute. And that's really sad for her. Well, we see her in the intro, so it's not a huge spoiler, but I'm not going to say it just because it's in the intro. And it is, if you haven't seen it yet, it is a spoiler. But if you have seen it, it's not a spoiler, if that makes sense.
I'm sure we've seen it.
Yep. Taiki and you are watching, and basically just saying, this is awful, okay, this is what I think they're saying. They don't actually say this at all. I like to think they're just watching him and say, hey, this isn't how it was back then, and I actually had to, work on my Digimon, and had to get Divine Intervention to get an evolution. I'm not salty, it just doesn't make sense. So Shoutmon talks to the Crossloader, and Gumdramon's scared because he's the Digimon King. And I messaged Jay about this, and I was like, hey, there's one part that you're going to pop out in this episode.
I actually loved that. You were so right. Because that's a good callback, right?
Yes.
Because the thing if you're going to have a show that has main characters, then changes main characters, what you want is that pre-existing relationship to mean something. And this is a perfect way of showing that, Shoutmon's journey meant a lot. And also, now that I think about it, I was gonna be like, how did he get so many injuries in like a year? How did he grow so much? Not a year in the real world is a long time in the digital world. So yeah, like I like Shoutmon as like a statesman and how he's really grown into the role. I don't know what he actually does because obviously he's got tons of time to go hang out in the AR field with Taiki.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I think this bit was really good. Unfortunately, they do not follow up on this like at all. They technically do, but not with nearly the same gravity. So like, where is it? Right at the beginning of the next episode, Shoutmon says to Taiki, "Hey, I'm looking for this specific Digimon. His name is Gumdramon, and if you see him, you definitely have to tell me. It's really important." And Taiki's like, haha, looking right at Gumdramon. I have no idea what you're talking about. He just lies to him?
Which is not good, because they're meant to be best friends.
Why would he lie to him in favor of Gumdramon when obviously he should trust Shoutmon to know what's best? And then when they do see each other later in this episode, it's the least dramatic thing that has ever happened. He goes, he actually doesn't even react to him initially, and then goes, haha, there you are.
It's very casual. He's like, well, be on your best behaviour.
Why was he so interested in finding out where he was then, if he didn't do anything about it?
You're right. It is like, it's almost like they made this episode to go immediately after the last season, and then they made the next episode quite a bit later.
Well, what I was saying is that I thought the first episode seemed like a pilot, where they introduced a bunch of stuff, including Gumdramon being scared, and sort of the way that they interact with their Digimon. You noticed that Gumdramon waited until Tiger got back to the AR field and said, "I'm always here with you," you know?
Yeah.
Then the first thing they do in episode 2 is, oh, by the way, if you say reload, your Digimon can come into the real world. Haha, yeah, it's totally different now.
Yeah, you're right, because they're meant to be small.
So,
and unseen by everyone, if they were an Atmon.
And I got the sense that, like, they got viewer feedback or something, being like, oh, does that mean there's no Digimon in the real world? And they just like, oh no, okay, we'll fix that.
Well, in Atmon, they could still become big from the chip, but I think I actually like the fact that they're just these little mini Digimon hanging out. Like, it's cute.
It is.
Anyway, there's no Monotomon in this season, so we get the Digimon introduction corner, and it's with Clockmon and the old man, and then we have one of my favourite things about Young Hunters is that we get the introduction of the Digimon, and then we get a Digicross with that Digimon. So we Digicross Clockmon and Gumdramon. I like it. Because we get to see Sparrowmon Digicross with Patamon at some point in this section.
Patamon's in this?
No, but we get him in this section.
What are you talking about?
You know the Digimon introduction corner that happens at the end of the episode, same as with the Monotomon in the previous season.
I didn't even look. I skipped every time. What are you talking about?
Well, okay, so they introduce the Digimon. They say, this is Clockmon, and then they Digicross it with the Digimon, so they Digicross Clockmon and Gumdramon. But at some point in this season, they introduce Patamon, and Digicross Patamon with Sparrowmon.
That sounds cool.
I think I've sent you the picture, and I feel like it was very early on in the podcast.
I'm scared it's going to look like garbage.
No, it's exactly what you think it would be, where it's just Patamon, but with the Sparrowmon wings. For memory.
You know what? That's probably really
cute. It's cute. It's so cute. But that's the new thing, but there's just no Monotomon, and I think I prefer the Monotomon, but I do like the Digicross part. Because the Monotomon was always dressed up, and it was really funny. What do you think of this episode as someone who is new to Digimon?
You know what?
Yeah?
It was pretty bad. Like, it wasn't the worst thing in the world.
No.
It was really basic, but, like, I have to take it from an outside perspective, right? Like, who was this show meant for?
Small child.
No. I mean, like, you say as someone who's new to Digimon, is this series for somebody who has never seen Digimon before? Because it completely fails at that. Is it as a follow-up to Xros Wars? Well, it does an okay job at that, but it's really ham-fisted about it. It doesn't do a great job by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
So, like, it seems pretty confused about what it wants to be, because it wants to be its own completely new thing by introducing all these different mechanics, but it wants to be directly related to the last season as well. So you're going to confuse new people, and you're going to betray old people.
Yes.
So you please no one.
Yes, I see what you mean. What about your rating?
Like, it's a 3. It's fine.
I feel like I gave it a 5. Like, it's okay. It's an episode.
I just need to say, and this is another reason I think that, like, this is a pilot, is that Tiger immediately stops doing the hyper-animated nose steam as of this episode.
Yes.
he did it like 20 times in the first episode, and then
Correct.
he never does it again.
Yep.
Because I think like people told them this is really annoying.
Yes, I thought it was fine though.
It's really annoying.
Like, I feel like I liked the way that the characters were in this episode more than the rest of the episodes we watched this week.
Well, because they had actual characters, as opposed to, like, everyone is just kind of okay with everyone else.
Yes.
Also, silver-haired kid who... We don't get his name, do we?
His name is Roma.
But we don't get it, do we?
We do, either in the first episode or the second episode.
Oh, okay, well, I just missed it. It's easier when I have to watch it once. Like, he goes from this character who's, like, competitive to just the guy who watches and then comes up with an excuse not to do anything.
Yes.
And I'm just assuming this is going to go for, like, 10 episodes at least. Of every end of episode is other characters looking from the distance being like, aha, you're okay, kid, but I'm better.
Bold of you to assume they're characters.
I mean, they have designs. That would be hilarious if they're on the poster and they're just extras.
Like, arguably, what's a character in this season anyway? A character usually implies some personality, some character, if you will.
Well, we know the Silverhead guy's a jerk, and and you know that because he randomly saves people only to then be a jerk to them again, because that's consistency.
So here's the Yamato. Congratulations, that's not original anymore.
It was never original, even when it was new.
How did it compare to your predictions of Obnoxious Synopsis?
Let me open that up. Because I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I didn't say anything about this because it's the first
You said
episode.
that we meet new kids and you would be annoyed every time Tiger spoke.
You know what? I was right. It wasn't a 0, to be fair. It was... Yeah, it was like a 2 or a 3. I don't know. Gumdramon is so cute, and that bit at the end where he's scared of Shoutmon is so good.
Yes.
That it gets... Those things shouldn't earn points, but my standards are so low that they do.
Well, to be fair, I love Gumdramon too. I love him. He's cute.
Characterless freak, though.
The start of the next episode starts up with a boy swimming, and his time isn't getting better. And then his stopwatch tracks a Digimon somehow, because that's just how it works in this season, apparently.
I was like, this thing's not connected to the internet. How can it be connected to the digital world? And then the answer is, it doesn't matter. The Digimon is coming from the pool.
Yeah, the Digimon's coming from the emotions, which definitely we have not seen in Savers.
Yeah, I was going to say, wasn't that just from that other season?
Yeah, Savers.
Just reusing stuff left, right, and center. And it's like...
Look, actually, no. The AR field is we're calling it now, because Digicords is dumb.
Yeah.
And also, just pause for a moment. Digicords... vaguely dubbed title, like putting Digi in front of thing.
Classic, isn't it?
Because usually in the original it's digital something, like Digital Gate. I don't know, it's weird they put the Digi in front of it and didn't make it digital. In
like when
any
they always say Digitalmon.
Yeah, true. So, the thing is, this season doesn't really steal from Atmon because Atmon stole from it. It just did it so well, and we watched Atmon and covered Atmon before Xros Wars. That we keep on referring to Atmon because Atmon just did it better, basically.
It's probably good that we saw Atmon first, because if we saw this first, if I saw that in Atmon, I'd probably be like, oh no, not this again.
I think you would even like Atmon more, maybe?
No, I don't think I would like it more. I think I would have had an initial negative reaction, and then it would have to pull me out of that.
You already had you didn't want to cover it, and I said, okay, fine, we'll cover it, and if you think it's dumb, we'll turn it off, and you were like, oh no, this is good.
But a more direct negative reaction.
Like, remember when we were like, oh, Atmon does not sound good at all?
Yes, I remember when you said, alright, you can just tell me, if it's bad 3 times, you can stop watching, or if like, you can complain every time it's really bad, and I just had, like, nothing to say.
I think you said something was stupid once, and it was, they were called buddies.
That was it, like, that was the entire thing, and I love that now.
Yeah, because they did a good job with it, and if something's initially dumb, and they do a good job with it, and they actually stick with it, that's a good thing. Not a lot of Digimon seasons have done that. Atmon is still, in my opinion, the best season. Because it does.
Other than V-Tamer.
Oh yeah, but that's not an anime. But V-Tamer...
It's the best season.
V-Tamer's good. Well, great actually. And Next is great as well. I started reading the Xros Wars manga. It's great. And also, remember that scene where Akari's taking a selfie?
I can't say... Oh, yeah, but the blimp?
Yeah, she actually takes it with Taiki in the manga.
I guess that makes more sense.
And she also wakes him up in the usual childhood friend wakes up friend way, but instead of waking him up nicely, she just, like, what's that wrestling move? She elbow drops on him.
Are you serious?
Yeah, she does, like, a full-on wrestling move. She just jumps on him with, it, like, elbow drops.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, they get... And also, I don't speak Japanese super well, so when I was watching Xros Wars, I'm not sure if I read how I did this, but Zenjiro speaks extremely politely.
Like, formally.
Yeah, he uses, like, humble terms for everything.
Which is funny because he's so braggadocious about, like, how he's the best.
Yeah,
That's what makes him so upset.
Yeah, he's just so formal, and he's just like, hey, I would really, really like, in this really humble way, if we could have a rematch. And he's just like, I'm humbling requesting you a rematch. And
Tiger's like, nah, brah, I won. Get over it. Haha.
But it's this really weird experience being able to read something that's in Japanese, because I just pick it up and I'm able to read it without a dictionary.
Solid explanabrag.
It's weird. I like it though. But anyway, Akari's great. She tackles him. It's really great. I like it. Anyway, so Taiguru is showing his crossloader to you and Taiki, and Gumdramon asks why Taiguru didn't tell him about his senpai, and Taiki explains that Crossheart was their team in the digital world, and that's why they're called Crossheart now.
What a weird question for Gumdramon to ask, though. You didn't tell me that your senpai was the legendary Taiki. Did you ask?
They met yesterday?
No, they met today.
Yeah, okay, maybe even today. I thought it was yesterday because it was another
Because it was
scene,
a different episode.
But yeah, you're right. It could have well just been today. So Shoutmon says that Digimon are disappearing, and Taiki says he's just happy to talk to Shoutmon, and Shoutmon says to tell him if he sees Gumdramon because he's a real handful, and then Taiki doesn't, which doesn't make sense. Meanwhile, a small girl is upset at school, and a computer starts up. A Digimon appears and kidnaps her. Horrifying, by the way.
Yeah, it's a reasonably effective scene.
Yeah. It's, a little bit, for some reason, like Tamers, and I don't quite know why.
I was gonna say it was like 02 because of the computer room, but fair enough.
Yeah. Maybe the characters remind me of something in Tamers, I don't know. Anyway, so Gumdramon says he wants to be like Shoutmon, and Taiguru says that he wants to be like Taiki, and they time shift. And meanwhile, Taiki's trying to find the shop, the clockmaker, but he couldn't find it originally, and then clockmaker comes out, and he's like, this is a game, but wouldn't be fair if you went to play, so we're gonna nerf you by saying that you can't play in this game.
That's not what nerfing is, that's banning.
Yeah, okay, he's banning. But
I'm
he's
just
not,
saying, though, because he just asked politely, can you please not?
Yeah, he's nerfing, because in 02 it was a nerf. Like, they nerfed Hikari, they nerfed the other kids by saying, hey, you can't evolve to adult.
Yeah, they don't do that here. They just say, please don't. It will annoy me. No, they don't. They don't ban him. They don't do anything.
They request that he doesn't kill Steel, I guess.
That's it. And even then, he still does.
Yeah, but just gives the Digimon to undeserving Taiguru who gets an evolution for no reason. Anyway.
Now, what's important here, though, is that obviously Taiki doesn't know what's going on. He's not involved in this hunting scene.
No.
He's only finding this out for the first time.
Yep.
Imagine if you had saved the world the way Taiki did. You spent like a year of time or more in the digital world fighting apocalyptic forces, and then a year later someone comes up to you and goes, oh yeah, Digimon, did you not read the rulebook?
Yeah.
Imagine how cheated you... Like, there was a rulebook? People could have just told me about this stuff?
Yep.
No, I don't think you're not reacting in a way that makes me think you are grasping how insane it is.
Oh, it's insane.
Like, that there is this hunting system and tons of people with crossloaders, and Taiki's response is, huh, that's interesting.
Yes.
He has no follow-up questions.
No, you're right. He handles it really well, considering he should be reacting like, there are other people with crossloaders, this is also a game now. This guy's giving out crossloaders. Who is this guy? What is his deal?
He had to work all this stuff out from the ground up, and he's being told to his face he did it wrong.
Yes.
And the show doesn't care, because they're saying to the audience, this is how things are now, and what happened before does not matter. Which is why I'm saying they're confusing a new audience and losing the old audience.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
And this is why everyone hates this season. I can tell. This is it.
Yeah. Well, they hate all of Xros Wars, but people just hate this part the most.
Yeah, and they've good reason to.
If they gave Xros Wars a chance, they hate this season. If they didn't, they just hate Xros Wars in general, but didn't give Xros Wars an entire chance.
To be fair, Xros Wars isn't good, so...
No. I mean, I think it's better than Frontier, it's better than 02, it's probably better than Try, but...
I don't think it's better than Try. Try is only bad in the context of adventure, which is so far above Xros Wars that even bad adventure is better than it.
I don't know, like, early adventures could get boring.
Yeah, but it was new. It exists in its own context.
Oh, no, I get you. I mean, compared with the other seasons, it's dull, but as its own thing, yeah, it's fine. It's the start of the franchise.
Try is well animated, and we have to admit it was fascinating. The problem was that you began to get that sneaking suspicion they will never tell you the mysteries, and then they kind of don't.
Well, the first 3 parts of Try were just emotional, and it was great. Well,
yeah, that was...
Especially 2 and 3.
It was completely just, peaked at 3.
Oh, yeah, and that's really sad, because after 3, both of us were like... This is great. This is really, really good. This is
It made
Digimon.
You collapse on the floor.
That was the start of part 4 with
but then it peaked at the start of part 4.
Yeah, and then the rest of part 4 was not good.
No.
Yeah, the start of part 4 was something I've been waiting for since I was a kid. So, big pop from me, and then nothing.
It was actually the smallest pop you could possibly imagine.
I just fell to the ground.
Make noise.
It was just like, it was a thing. Like, it was a whole thing. Anyway, so we find out that you can only have one Digimon reloaded at once.
Why?
I don't know why. I feel like this is a rule, but
they say
I
it's
feel
a rule of the hunt, but Tiger is never taught that.
And yeah, and you actually, I don't think you actually can physically do it. So whether or not these crossloaders have been modified to obey the rules of the hunt, I don't know. But this was never an issue in the other seasons.
Well, Taiki doesn't bring out 2 Digimon at any stage either.
Yeah, so it's almost like they were like, hey, let's not have armies, let's just have one partner again and you can digicross them. And I don't like that. I like the armies. I really like the armies. So they see a Digimon that's carrying something, and we find out that Metal Tyrannomon's not fast enough, so he brings out Gumdramon, and he sees a Kappa, which is Sagomon. Sagomon attacks, and Tigeru and Gumdramon get attacked. Roma saves him and returns him to the human world, because he's the tsundere of the season, I guess. And Roma says that Sagomon's too strong, and Tigeru's like, that's a challenge. I'm just like, Tigeru, you'll die. Then Yu finds him, and you won't believe that there's a Digimon that stole people, and he thinks that Tigeru's making it up, which makes no sense for you to think that. They've given you this weird personality, and also weird, like, emotional growth, considering a year ago this kid was completely insane. Like,
I mean, he got over it very quickly.
Yeah, he should still be this more or less the same character. It's been a year.
I mean, it was a totally different character by the end of the last show, which means that a year worth of that would make him have developed. And obviously, if all the girls like him, then he must be different.
I know, it annoys me that he looks so different for a year. It just doesn't... His growth makes no sense.
Now, the big one for me here, though, is that when he's so direct about it, you can't just kill Digimon because, like, it's a game. That shows that he hasn't learned anything broadly. He learned his own specific experience and then never thought about it any more than that.
Also, you actively have to kill Digimon now?
Well, not if you're the other hunters who are apparently really bad at their jobs.
Yes, because Tigeru has protagonist powers.
He has the powers of, oh yeah, this is how it works, you just kill them. I would love if they show in like a couple episodes, and I know they won't because the show wouldn't be reviewed as badly if they were smart. But in a couple episodes they go, if you capture them the way you have, it's gonna, like, there's some really negative result that comes out of it. Like, they turn on you after a couple of days or something.
Don't and all of a sudden, have expectations.
His Digimon break out? No, of course not. My expectation is that he's just the best at this, and everyone else is dumb. That first episode shows you how... Like, you're meant to think that they're experienced and he's new. He's obviously so much better than them already.
Yes.
So much better.
Protagonist powers, but not in the way that previously we've had in Digimon, where you still had to work up to your protagonist powers. He has
them immediately.
People say that Tigeru is... people say that Mikey/Taiki is a Gary Stu. I'm sorry. This
Scary
character...
students are by definition itself insert, but fair enough.
Okay, no, I mean, like, in a way that they can pick up something and they're good at it immediately. People say that Taiki's one of those characters where he's just like, oh, I'm so good at everything, blah, 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 blah. Even though Taiki's not, he works on it.
Yeah. The point is that he's good at only the very, very specific thing he works on, and his entire character is identifying the shortest method to success.
Yes, and he's flawed in that way because he'll overwork himself to actual collapsing and being bedridden.
I know how we can solve this problem. You should kill me.
Oh, yeah. Also
the castles.
That, like... Yeah, him saying, hey, kill me, though. But the other thing is, Tiger is actually just that Gary Stu character of being immediately perfect and better than everyone upon picking
I don't
something
agree.
up. Really?
He's actually really garbage.
I know, but he's better at the Digimon hunt.
No, but he's been bad at everything he has done. Except for this first episode, he completely fails and is bailed out at every single stage.
Okay, I know, I get your point.
He has next to zero success.
Yeah, no, you're right, because Shoutmon does help him. Yeah, you're right.
And the only time he has success is when he magically gets his protagonist powers of evolution earlier than anyone in the show ever.
That's annoying. I don't like that.
I agree.
So they time shift and they see all the stolen humans, and we find out the Digimon are drawn out of the Digicourts because of human hearts. Where have I seen this before? Ah yes, Digimon Savers. Last season. Alright. Gumdramon super evolves and Tigeru tells you to bring out his Digimon, and it's really awkward because he's dead.
Yeah. He goes, my Digimon, after a year, he's not even checked in. Because obviously they can communicate with Shoutmon. Shoutmon, as king of the world, has not been like, yeah, we found Daimon, don't worry about it.
Yes.
Obviously they will.
Because he's in the intro, which is terrible spoiling, by the way.
And in the Eye Catcher episode 3.
Yes.
With an evolved version. Well, we know what the evolved one looks like.
Yeah, we've seen the evolved version before, and again, he was given the evolved version by Lord Bargara and Dark Knightmon.
Oh, yeah.
So that's fine.
Is it, though?
Don't know why we have Tigeru having his evolution. It's so annoying. Anyway.
How come his evolution isn't gold?
Because it's bad, and it doesn't have divine intervention.
Then why isn't it a skeleton?
I don't know. If it was a gold evolution, I guess we could argue that Omega Shoutmon and Z Greymon and Suamon all are gold because they are actually true super evolutions. And that's
Suamon's
why...
yellow, not gold.
Arguably, I guess Daemon's gold in general, but whatever, it's gold.
He's white, but okay.
Gold-ish. He's got gold parts, it's a metal. Anyway.
Okay.
I guess Arrestamon doesn't have that colour scheme because he's cheating. I don't know. Anyway, so Iru, Ren, and Roma are watching, because that's what they do. They stand there and watch, have fun of 20 episodes of them doing that, because that's all they do. I think they might be relevant, like, twice, as a group.
Are you serious?
That's all I can remember. I remember that Iru may have an episode, and I think that Ren and Roma have, like, a little bit of, like, one episode. Otherwise, they stand there on a building and watch.
That's garbage.
Did you want the characters to have focus? No, this is Tigeru the season. Remember 02? Imagine if it was just like Daisuke and background characters. Have I killed you? I'm sorry, but that's what this season is. It's imagine if Daisuke and Taichi were relevant and they were the only ones who were relevant in 02. Also, TK is slightly relevant and nobody else is relevant. I note that you also haven't asked, where are Kiriha? Where's Nene?
You know what? I kind of thought about it, but yeah, where are they?
Nene's in Hong Kong. I forgot where Kiriha is.
Wait, so Nene's gone?
Yep.
Where?
Hong Kong. It's not a spoiler, she's just in Hong Kong now.
Why?
She's an idol, by the way.
What?
I know, because that was her character. Remember how she was always being an idol? Oh wait, no, she was dressing in wacky cosplay.
If she was a fashion designer or an actor, that would have made a lot of sense.
Yep, no, she's an idol. She sings now. That's her character. She's the girl. Yep.
I hate that so much.
Yep.
What if she was off somewhere being a crappy chef?
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be so Digimon. But the thing is, remember how Nene more or less had a character that was agreeable? They haven't even been mentioned. Kiriha and Nene were not even mentioned in these episodes. Anyway, back to the show. So, we have Iru, Ren, and Roma doing what they're going to do for 20 episodes, stand on a building. And Taiki shows up and tells Tigeru to Digicross. So then we get Cross Up Arrestamon, And Sagomon can absorb the students' feelings, like in Sabers. Tigeru jumps on Sagomon. And Taiki says he can't turn his back on him. Shoutmon's dressed up now, by the way. This is his king outfit. I love it. I absolutely adore it. It shows that he has grown, and he is now the king. I thought you
call it an outfit, despite that, like, most of it is that he has scars.
Yes.
Like, he's wearing them.
It shows that, like, he has...
Time has passed.
Yeah, also, how much time has passed? It's been a year in the real world. If you think that several months is, like, half a day... A year is just decades and decades. So he has grown. This is an old...
He's old as hell.
Shoutmon. Yeah, he's very old. He should have just...
He's physically a bit larger, I think.
Yes, and he looks older. He's got, like, scars and battle damage and wears a scarf now. Would you pop if he were just Digimon at this point?
No, I wouldn't. That would be garbage.
I would. Because, like, he's old.
What would happen... So, did his headphones always have crowns on them?
They had, like... gold bits, but I don't think they were crowns, no.
Hold on, because they got crowns now. Also, you notice that no, they didn't. They were just green.
Okay, then yes, he has changed his headphones then, which
in fact,
more
they're
or
not
less
even
means...
headphones now. They're just ears. He doesn't have the top strap.
Yeah, so arguably,
is this an evolution?
I was about to say, has he evolved slightly, but is still called
so.
Shoutmon?
Yeah, I think this is what this looks like halfway through an evolution somehow.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that existed.
And by the way, this is probably my favourite thing, Young Hunters, how they've aged Shoutmon up, because Agumon in Adventure and Agumon in 02 and Agumon in Tri, they just gradually got hungry, but never was really a different Digimon. Shoutmon has matured, and he's changed in appearance slightly.
And he's clearly way more mature.
Yeah, because guess what? It's been decades. Like, actively work out, like, half a day being, like, 6 months... So, a year is one day.
He's been gone for 700 years.
So, yeah. So, if a year's a day... No, he's been gone 365 days. So,
okay, yeah.
365 years.
Yeah, and he's been doing great.
Yeah, he is several hundred years older.
How long have you been 17?
So that may be why the digital world's slightly different in the way that there's Digicorts now, because it's been almost 400 years, assuming 6 months is...
They are never ever going to address this.
Even then, like, sure, maybe it's only 3 months. Maybe 3 months is half a year. I mean, 3 months is half a day, and 1 day is only 6 months.
Still 150 years.
Yeah, that's still a long, long time. Shoutmon has grown. That's one of the best parts in Young Hunters, is the fact that they made Shoutmon actually grow. He's achieved his dream. We don't know how immediate that was after the last season.
Well, we knew it was immediate because he was the king.
Yeah.
By the way, you notice how Taiki's shirt has a little crown on it too?
Yes. Yes. Yeah,
you're really proud of him, aren't you?
Yes, I'm so proud of him. I'm proud of them both. I love them. They've grown. It's sad that we never got like an emotional reunion. Maybe they've just been they haven't seen each other for a year, but we don't know if they've spoken the whole time or not. Anyway, so then we have Taiki crossing Omega Shoutmon with Darulamon to be cross up Omega Shoutmon, and Tigeru captures Sagomon, even though Taiki, yeah, you're right, basically won the battle. And Ron was like, nothing less expected from Taiki. And Shoutmon finds
that... Does he know who he is? Oh, no, he does. He specifically said to his face, yeah. I know who you are.
Yeah, so Shoutmon sees Gumdramon. He's like, I'm relieved that you found a partner. And there's nothing. We don't know why he was looking for Gumdramon. We don't know what their backstory is. We don't know if he stole something or if he's some criminal. But it's fine now.
I want to say they're brothers.
No.
I want to say Gumdramon's his little brother.
I wish that was the case.
It would make so much sense. They kind of look similar.
It would be like in Atmon. Are you related? No, we just look similar.
I love that. I love that joke. I wish they had done that final one. I don't remember what I was referring to anymore, but there was like two...
It was Musimon, MCmon, and Dancemon.
No, Afroman.
Oh yeah, the Afroman, yeah.
Wait, I thought there was only one guy. I thought there was only one of you. Are you saying there's more than one? What are you talking about? We just look similar.
Yeah. Are you guys brothers? No. We just look similar. That's great. I love it.
Have like 8 of them in a room.
Yeah. Atmon's so good. I like how we're just talking about Atmon instead of Young Hunters most of the episode.
We always do this.
No, but we're doing it more now because how similar the seasons are.
That's true.
I think the whole time when I was watching Atmon, I was just like, this is Young Hunters, but good. And
So what are the odds that the watchmaker is the bad guy? I think it's like 80%.
I don't remember.
Are you serious?
There's a bad guy. I don't remember anything.
It's gonna be a surprise to you too.
For some reason, I vaguely remember that the bad guy is sort of like the D-Reaper, I think.
I was gonna say, what if the watchmaker is gonna seem like he's the bad guy, but then it turns out he's the Royal Knights?
No, that's two Digimon. It's not Digimon.
Yeah, I know.
This season does not follow many
what
Digimon
if he
tropes.
is the Royal Knights?
No, it's not. No, it's bad. It's worse than the Royal Knights.
So
anyway,
funny.
My point is that this is not Atmon, and I wish it was. Why isn't Atmon released? I have to learn Japanese so I can watch these DVDs of Atmon because there's still no English release. Anyway, so Tigeru and Gumdramon want to be better, and Taiki has a lot of Digimon, and Tigeru wants to catch up because he's terrible. And we get the Digimon introduction corner, and we get Shoutmon Digicross with Metal Tyrannomon, and I really like it. I really like the introduction corner. What do you think of this episode as someone who's new to Digimon?
I really felt like they dropped a bunch of stuff, especially just immediately showing up being like, oh, hey. And so it's not great. No one reacts like you think they would. Taiki's like, oh yeah, a hunt. Okay, this totally makes sense. The only thing that saves this entire episode is how cool Shoutmon is.
Yeah.
Also, like, Yu is a 2D cutout of himself, and new Matt, Rom, whatever his name is, just saves Tiger for no reason.
Yeah.
And then is a huge jerk. But if he was actually a huge jerk, he wouldn't have saved him. It's like
Also, why isn't Yu horrendously damaged? Like, emotionally?
Yeah, he should be really traumatized. He's totally fine.
He went through some terrible stuff, and he watched his Digimon die and killed a bunch of Digimon and only realized that he actually did harm to humans and Digimon at the end. He should be damaged, because if you think about it, in Adventure, Takaru was damaged. Like, we saw him break down multiple times in Zero
Let me run an idea past you.
Yeah?
Alright, Yu shows up in this season, and he has the Suicide Squad Joker damaged tattoo on his forehead.
Oh, no.
Just so you know, he's damaged. I wish it said hashtag damaged.
I just want people to think I'm cool. But no, it's just, you are bad.
Oh,
He lost like anything that could have made him interesting. But yeah, what I liked about this episode is just Shoutmon aging several hundred years worth and actually looks different. Like, he's got battle damage, he's wearing different clothes. Arguably, he could just be midway between an evolution. Unfortunately, Omega Shoutmon is still Omega Shoutmon. He doesn't keep any of the new King stuff as Omega Shoutmon, which is annoying. But whatever. How would you rate this episode?
Like a 2? It's not good.
I gave it like a 4.5. Like, only for Shoutmon though. Like, Shoutmon keeping the points going up.
You are, as always, unreasonably generous.
And what about compared to your predictions? Because you were just like, you wanted to see new Matt's gangster Digimon.
Well, we saw him in episode 1, so what was the point?
Well, yeah. But I think you thought that,
I thought he'd show up in the second episode.
That Sagomon was the new Matt's gangster Digimon or something.
No, I thought it was the gangster-looking one in the picture. Oh no, the name of it. Yeah.
Yeah, you thought this would be a focus on Roma. It's cute. You think that Roma's going to get a focus.
Well, I hadn't seen any of the show yet.
Yeah, it's funny because they stand, as I said, they watch.
They just hang out. I didn't realize how bad it was.
They're relevant, like, in a big way once.
Wow, that is...
In 20 episodes, by the way. 20 episodes from now.
Truly pathetic.
I'm pretty sure it's actually, like, episode 20 when anything... As I said, nothing is relevant to these characters until, like, episode 20. We could arguably skip all of this and go to episode 20, and you would not have missed anything. You know the mechanics about the show, these episodes. You do not need to watch anything else.
Can't wait for more filler than your body has room for.
It's not even in the way that Frontier had filler. It's just... As I said, Monster of the Week, did you get from these episodes that's more or less, like, especially the episode we're about to talk about and this one, is that Digimon show up, does some things with the children, and then Tigeru beats them and catches them.
Yay. Yeah. Can't wait to watch 3 episodes of that for the next billion weeks.
I think Taiki becomes less relevant as the season moves on.
No, it would have to. Otherwise, what's the whole point?
Is sad because he's the best part of the season.
Oh, clearly. He's the only person who has any charisma at all.
Like, as I said, like, I predicted you'd pop for Shoutmon actually being the king. And
yeah, you got me.
Us seeing Shoutmon, I said, there are 2 parts you'd pop. One is in episode 20-something, and the other is in episode 1.
20-something.
You will not enjoy any of this, I'm sorry. I might enjoy it. I will complain a lot because there's a lot of problems. And I can already tell that, remember when we always say, okay, so if a season's good, we will talk about it a medium amount. If it's, like, okay, we'll talk about it, like, not too much. Like, we'll have very short episodes if it's just okay.
Yeah, we've talked tons.
In Xros Wars, all of our episodes were, like, the recordings were probably, like, maybe not, like, under 2 hours. The full recording, and then the edited version was like an hour and a half, or less, like an hour and a half at most, usually closer to an hour. Savers, it was okay and good, so we discussed it like not that long, because it was just like, yeah, this is good, this is fine. Frontier, I believe we had several 3-hour-long episodes, same with 02. Adventure was just fine. Tamers was a little bit longer than our adventure coverage because it was good and we enjoyed it. But if you enjoy things, you sort of just go over like, oh yeah, this is good. If you don't like things, you just want to rip them to shreds. So I guess I'm looking forward to our next 3-hour-long episode, which will happen.
Kill me now.
Like, remember the times where we would start recording at 7 and wouldn't finish until midnight? And
I want to go home, and I'm already home.
And then I would have to wake up very early in the morning because I didn't have time to edit the night before. It's great that we've been doing the episodes down to just, like, each episode edited is about an hour, because I'm able to have it ready to upload, and I actually schedule the upload overnight, so I don't have to edit in the mornings anymore, because they're not, like, 5-hour-long recordings.
Well, we're making this one a real good time.
Rest in peace, May.
Big rip.
Good thing I'm on narcolepsy medication now, so I can be awake. Anyway, so that was the second episode. And any other discussions about your predictions?
I said, like, nothing. My predictions were, like, had nothing going on because I hadn't seen the show. I couldn't tell you where it was going.
And still, your predictions were accurate.
Yeah, more or less. I knew that I would hate Tiger, and I did.
Oh, yeah, well, that was never a secret. I didn't even keep that from you. I was like, yeah, it's just Daisuke, but worse.
Yeah, but I thought that maybe it wouldn't be this consistent.
No. It is consistent. It's very consistent in being like this. Anyway.
Everything he does.
So does Tiger seem a little bit like a parody of Daisuke to you in some way?
No, I don't think that's self-aware.
No, but I know, I'm just saying, like, as a viewer, like, not necessarily if it's on purpose or not.
No, the answer is no.
Oh, okay.
Because, no, a parody specifically has to be on purpose.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm just saying it's sort of just...
No. Your understanding of parody is wrong.
Yeah, okay. So episode 57 starts off the same way the last episode did, with kids are doing something. It's not going too well.
Can we just replay that every episode we do of this? Just you saying, it starts off with Digimon messing with kids.
Look, I could probably cut down all our time doing the podcast by every episode just being very vague and saying, kids are doing something, it's not going well, Digimon shows up and helps them, but actually kidnaps them / makes them go insane. And it's weird. And then Tigeru notices that something's weird and goes, hey, this is weird. Or Taiki notices that something's weird, and then they try to find the kids. Kids lead them somewhere, or they find the kids being in the digital world / Digicourts, whatever it's called, not the AR field, because that's an Atmon, and that's good. And then they fight the Digimon, and the kids are there, and we rescue the kids, and then we get a Digicross probably. Roma, Iru, and Ren are still in a building watching and scowling, and then the episode ends, we get a Digimon introduction corner, and it's my favourite part of the episode. And it's disturbing. That's how all of my descriptions will go.
Alright, this has been LostinTranslationmon. Thanks for listening.
Well, LostinTranslationmon for the next, I think, 20 episodes. No, less, because there's only 25 episodes. But my point stands.
At least we'll be done soon.
Like, I'm not saying all of it's horrible, and I'm not saying I don't enjoy Young Hunters. As I said, when I first watched Young Hunters, I really enjoyed it. It was cute. It entertained me.
But you don't know better.
Yeah, it was something to watch.
We've established you don't have any sort of taste.
But now when I'm watching this now, I am watching it analytically because I didn't the first time. I really enjoyed it the first time. I still enjoyed it. I didn't hate watching it. There are a lot of problems. It's the thing is, like, I still will enjoy Digimon, but enjoying something doesn't mean enjoying something and not finding issues with it. I find a lot of issues with it. It's like, I'm trying to describe it, and, like, everyone has that friend, right? That they really like, is a really good friend, but, like, has a bunch of, like, hey, don't do that, that's not a good thing to say. Like,
Are you talking about Matt?
Yes. Just a bit of an oddball.
You mean the
of a
one
person.
scum friend?
Yeah, like, I think everyone has a friend like that they really like or they enjoy hanging out with, but is just sort of the person you go, oh, I can't, like, I'm scared whenever I introduce this friend to a person. That's Young Hunters.
Problem friend.
This person makes such a bad first impression and just continues to be terrible, but is really fun to hang out with, and you kind of just like watching them because it's colourful and it's better than staring at a wall.
Wow, you have really high thoughts of them.
Like, I'm just saying that, like, I don't know.
You're better than nothing. You're literally better than one of the most boring activities in the world.
Okay, you know when you're eating a sandwich, right?
Oh my god, why so many metaphors? Do you really not want to speak about this episode?
I'm just saying, okay, when you're eating a sandwich...
Are you me?
And let's just say it's a butter sandwich, or you're eating buttered toast.
Okay, well, you're a
food.
Freak, sure.
If you're hungry, it's better than not eating, right? Eating buttered toast.
I mean,
and maybe,
yeah.
if you're sick... And
Where's this going?
When I'm sick, I will watch anything because I'm just sick and I just don't want.
Are you saying you'd have to be unwell to watch this show? Because I agree.
Okay, yeah. What I'm saying is that, like, it's better than lying in bed and feeling sick. And then when you're sick, you go to the toast and you say, I can't really eat much because I don't feel well, but I need to get my carbs and it's got a little bit of fat with this slightly buttered toast. I'm going to eat this buttered toast, and it's not amazingly tasting. Like, it's not this amazing, beautiful steak or what have you. It's not like beautiful pizza or fish and chips. It is buttered toast. But you eat it, and you're starving. You want to eat this you eat the buttered toast. It's better than not eating. You're staring at a blank wall, but you watch Young Hunters on that blank wall. Better than not having... You're
describing the need of Digimon fans to have Digimon, otherwise you will die.
Okay, no, okay.
Oh my god, I don't need more metaphors. I would like to stop recording. Okay. Can we finish?
Actually, I think the metaphor that worked better was the buttered toast. This is buttered toast.
This is never going to end. You have to edit all this.
And I will, and I'll edit it into something consistent and coherent, but my point is...
suffering upon yourself.
So this is that's the description of every episode. Kids are doing something. Yeah, sorry. Kids are building this robot...
Can we name this episode You've Brought the Suffering Upon Yourself?
Yeah, well... Digimon brought this suffering on top of me. Also, I already know the episode title, and it's about 4 episode titles too late, because I only thought of it, like, the other day, and it's called The World Ends With You.
Is it called The Darkness After the Dawn?
The Dankness? No. The Darkness After the Dawn. Actually, no, that's a better one. Okay, it'll be that. I'm going to use The World Ends With You somehow, so help me God.
That's easy enough, yeah.
I'm so mad that I didn't use it when it was relevant. And I only thought of it, like, last week, and I think I messaged you, and I was like, I'm so mad.
Is he not going to have any episodes in the season?
Well, Daimon comes back at some point, and then...
Yeah, it must be an episode with him.
And then he's not relevant.
I'm
not even joking. I'm not even, like, if I say something about this show, I'm not just lying. But you don't even
remember the story.
Pardon?
You don't even remember what happens.
No, I remember what happened.
You said you don't remember who the bad guy is.
Yeah.
So you remember now?
I just don't. It's nothing.
Okay.
As I said, it is somewhat maybe like the D-Reaper. A little bit. But bad.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. I don't get it. It's just really vague.
Yes.
You're stalling. Do you know that?
The show is bad.
I've never had to tell you that you're the one who's stalling.
Because, like, as I said, I'm just describing every episode in Hunters. Anyway, so kids are building a robot. They're worried because they can't have it in time for the tournament. They get a call from Pinocchio.
They're not good at it.
Yes, but also we meet Pinocchio. His nose is growing because he's lying. Nobody calls this out. And he shows him designs for the robot that he has, and he wants them to build it. And they all go, yeah, this seems like a guy I can trust.
That's the basis of one of the best lines in the episode, where they go, he's learned the secret of my nose.
Yeah, that was great. But, like, I don't know why the kids in this episode are so trusting of this nothing person who just like, hey, can you come to my house and build this robot for me? Because you can't build your own robot. Why don't you build this robot?
I mean, just like give them the blueprints. But no, he has to kidnap them.
Yes.
It doesn't really... Yeah, no one ever questions it because they immediately go insane.
Yeah, basically. So, what else
So
happens? Yes, that's right.
If you want to hate Tiger, you get to see this rock, paper, scissors scene.
Yeah. So Tiger is excited to leave, and he's told to deliver classmates' homework because he's the main character, and he says, "No, you should do it." And
it's a punishment because he forgot his own homework.
Oh yeah, but also because he needs to be relevant because he's the main character.
Sort of, and then he goes up to you and goes, "All right, rock, paper, scissors. If you lose, you do it." And the other and you goes, "I'm sorry, what? I don't. That's really dumb. What do I get? Nothing. You just get to do it if you lose. I'm never gonna do that." Then they rock, paper, scissors anyway because he tricks him, I guess. And then you wins anyway.
Yep. And we have them fighting and arguing, and it's just TK and Davis again. And remember, in the first episode, they were possibly friends at an arcade together, and Taiki comes in and says, "I'm so glad to see you guys getting along," implying that they didn't get along prior, and then they said, "I would not get along with that guy," and they point at each other, and now they hate each other.
I guess, I assume it's because, like, they're on a basketball team together, so clearly they have a history of some kind. How did they find this kid?
They found him because he was in the script, and the script says Tiger is the gold kid.
He's the gold kid because he looks up to Taiki. It's crazy.
Also, I like the girl with no name who's in the background sometimes and hangs out with them, and she's got, like, orange hair. I really like her.
The one who was yelling at Tiger in the first episode?
Yes. She's not relevant ever, I don't think.
I'm like, when is she going to be a character?
Never.
Because she seems exactly like Akari.
Oh, I'm still waiting for Tigeru to be a character.
Wait, hold on a second. We've covered Nene and Kiriha. Are Akari and Zenjiro in this?
In 20 episodes?
I just want to cry. Can we just finish this by being like, yeah, so they find this kid, he's insane, they follow him back to the AR field, and they fight Puppetmon, who has built a Breakdramon / Giga Breakmon, whatever. Which
was the one in the Cutemon's parents episode.
I thought it looked familiar. And then, despite it being incomplete, you can capture it.
Yes. And out of control. And I'm pretty sure one of the characters even says, "Who would want that Digimon anyway? You can't control it."
Also, if they ever summon it, there's no way they're going to remember that.
Also, Gumdramon calls him the digital world's #1 Gumdramon summer, which, again, is very different to the previous characters we've seen of Gumdramon. It's like he has a new character each episode. In the first one, he's just kind of like this, a little bit of a manipulative guy.
He's a rogue.
Yeah, and he's kind of like, how can this kid benefit me? And I guess Shoutmon was arguably a bit like that too in the first episode of Xros Wars. How can this guy help me become king? But then he gets better.
But it's meant to be like that. The one thing that they do consistently, and the one thing I would really congratulate them for, is that, like, they're very consistent about their character themes. They're not consistent about the themes of the show in any way, especially not between this and Xros Wars.
Yeah.
But, like, if you look... So, Tiger looks up to Taiki and wants to surpass him. And so, Taiki is his senpai, and sort of, they have this relationship in that way. Then Tiger has that with Gumdramon, where he's kind of looking after him, because he sees somebody who's throwing himself at a problem over and over again, with all his might, but, not achieving anything. So he has to have that. But at the same time, Gumdramon has that with Shoutmon, where it's so direct, other characters say, hey, that's exactly like what they have.
Yeah.
And it's the same relationship mirrored between all these different individuals.
Like, I don't know why the show keeps on needing to tell us that, hey, it's like Taiki and Shoutmon, or hey, it's like Tigeru and is like Gumdramon. I don't know why the show keeps on having to feel the need to tell us about that, because it's very obvious. So that's another thing, that the show is like dumbing the audience down more than Digimon seasons have previously dumbed us down. I always comment on, hey, I like how this is implied and is pretty much true, but no characters actually point it out. And a lot of Digimon seasons actually do that, and I do like it when I do that. Young Hunters is not doing that. Young Hunters is very much explaining everything, like, hey, this is what we mean by the writing, by the way. You don't have to interpret it, we'll tell you, it's fine.
You are 5 after all if you're watching this.
Well, people always said that Xros Wars was aimed at a younger audience, but Xros Wars still had parts where they didn't mention things, or parts that were a little bit more intricate, I guess, but Young Hunters is just not.
I guess, I don't know, I just want to... There's nothing here in this episode to talk about anymore. Now that we've sort of talked about the big things about the show, because every episode's the same, we're like, okay, so they defeat the bad guy, and specifically, We have a legitimately great callback to the Pinocchimon episode when it's first introduced.
Yes.
Where Pinocchimon jumps in front of the bullets to save Taiki. This time Taiki does that with Shoutmon. And Shoutmon spins his little stick around in just the way that they did with the hammer, and it's like a big callback thing.
Yeah, and
also,
that's a good thing about the episode is that, and I guess the good thing about Young Hunters is that it is calling back and remembering parts from Xros Wars.
But that's its only ability. And even that, it fails 70% of the time.
Yes.
Because you go, where's Nene? And you go, oh, over there. Literally probably the best character in the last season.
Yep.
Just excised.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so just back, because there's a bit of following around of the kid where it turns out he says he's going to school and he just jumps out he goes out and then he jumps back in through his window and he builds the robot. So that's basically the only relevant part, and then they're in the Digicourts, they fight, the Giga Breakdramon. We've already basically mentioned what happens.
We've explained all of this.
So, yeah, turns out that, the kids are working Giga Breakdramon, Gumdramon wants to fight, and Taiki comes up and says, hey, this is a robot of destruction, why can't you see that? And Restamon fights him and says, I'm going to be number one. This Giga Breakdramon can't be number one, I'm number one.
So what really bothers me here is that they're trying to present like a life lesson, and it's the worst life lesson you can possibly imagine. Taiki looks on very impressed to see Restramon throw himself into this fight over and over again, get beaten up, and he never learns his lesson. He keeps trying and he keeps trying. And he's like, he's trying so hard, and he's just doing his best. Which is meant to be like the life lesson of, always do your best, always try as hard as you can. But there is something to be said about working smarter and not harder, because the thing that Tiger does is so self-destructive that he physically cannot win without help. So what he's doing is objectively wrong and shouldn't be, seen as a good thing or held up as a good thing to the audience.
Do you also want to know what annoys me?
What?
How annoyingly shallow Gumdramon's goal is. His goal is to become number one. Shoutmon's goal was, I want to become the king so I can protect people. Gumdramon wants to become number one for himself. Shoutmon was always, he wants to be the best for other people, but not necessarily the best, he just wants to be the king so he can protect his friends.
To be completely fair, you could, and I know they never say this, but I'm being you now, you have to assume that there is a pre-existing relationship between Gumdramon and Shoutmon, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Now let's assume that Shoutmon's good at being a king, right?
Yes.
So you don't need to have a really overarching goal of being, protecting people, because the king's already doing that. That character comes from the pre-existing relationship with the king, and always being sort of in his shadow. So it doesn't need to be like that character goal of being number one, surpassing somebody, which is exactly what Tiger's character arc is. It's literally the same.
Yes.
That doesn't need to come from anywhere other than an inferiority complex, which obviously they have.
Yes. True.
At the same time, I wonder if they'll ever go into that. I doubt it.
Yeah, probably not. Anyway, so Ramen and the others show up. That's
to look at them.
And that's their input in the episode. They show up. Taiki protects Pinocchimon with attack. As Jace said, it's like it was with Pinocchimon. It's a thing. And he remembers, and Roma says they should retreat because this Digimon can't be controlled. Thank you for your participation in the episode, Roma. Thank you for trying to be relevant. And then Pinocchimon tells Taiki to put him in the crossloader. So Pinocchimon gets Digicross with Shoutmon to cross up Shoutmon. Taiki tells Toguru to hunt the extremely dangerous Digimon, who they should probably try to decommission. Nope, they capture him, try to be friends with it.
You can just build your own Digimon.
Yeah, basically. And it's Chimeramon, basically, but not interesting. And then we get Introduction Corner is Giga Breakdramon, and he Digicrosses him with Damemon, so instead of his drills, it's like the poop.
I really wish I had watched those. Those sound like the best bits.
No, I'm not joking. They are the best bits of every episode is the funny Digicrosses, because they're just wacky Digicrosses that will never... remember Greatest Cutemon? How that was kind of like a funny Digicross?
how that travesty shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, it's all those funny comedy relief cross that they do, and it is really enjoyable, and it's not... I really like it. I really like the segment, and as I said, it's the best part in every episode. It's the only good part in some episodes. And yeah, that's the episode. So, what do you think of this episode as someone who's new to Digimon?
It was bad. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get used to it, aren't I?
Yep.
Kill me.
I won't, but we're almost done with Digimon at least.
I wish.
Yep, that's...
Are we
Anything
gonna
else to say?
Postmon Pat or something? Like, I think
No.
there was a break there for a reason.
Oh, I just want to notice that, isn't it weird that Pinocchimon is apparently one of the kind? Taika's like, hey, I know this Pinocchimon, but imagine if he didn't.
Also, like, there's some sort of implied subplot where Digimon who go to the AR field forget what they were doing before. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's almost like there's some infection, but they don't actually want to say that there's an infection. In Atmon, there was the infection, it was mentioned, and it was a thing. So how did you rate this episode?
It's like a 1. It's not
I thought you were about
good.
to say it's a B.
Maybe it's a 1 or a 2. That's it. Don't like it.
How did it compare?
Like, I thought that they would be more of an Atmon thing where, like, it infects the robots they make, which would have made sense. And, like, when he provides them with this robot blueprint, like, he's making himself a body in the real world, that would have made so much sense, and it just wasn't. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't have called what they were doing. And now I understand the theme of the show. It's not the Digimon affect stuff in the real world directly. They affect people and people only. Okay.
Well, yes. More or less.
Now that I understand that, I can sort of make more accurate predictions in the future.
Well, he is hoping in any case. New season. What are your thoughts on the new season?
I don't like it. Don't make me watch this. Can we stop now?
I mean, at least it's shorter than the other seasons, right? That's a positive.
Yeah, I guess so.
Any other thoughts? Just anger and regret?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, same. And my other discussion point, I'm still mildly off-put by the fact that you seem to have been aged up by 3 years, just considering only 1 year has passed. It is just weird. And as I said, it feels like the writers just wanted him to be older, so they just aged him up more than they should have. It just is bad. It's not good. It's still not as bad as Frontier. Anything that happens in the season is not as bad as Frontier. I hope. And so, do you like how they're nerfing Taiki by saying you're exempt from hunting?
But they didn't nerf him. He did it anyway.
It's just like, he obeys. It's kind of cute. He's like, okay.
But he doesn't.
Okay.
Why do you keep saying that? He clearly doesn't.
So, we had some new Digimon. We have Astamon, the Gangstermon.
It's kind of cool.
What about Opossumon? That's the girl's Digimon.
It's terrible. I don't think it's not even an opossum, but whatever. It
has balloons.
It seems fine. I don't know. It has that weird out of place feeling, and which is weird because Digimon is very broad.
And I'm pretty sure that I might be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure Opossumon is one of those other armor evolution Digimon.
That's weird. It's got like no armor on it.
And also, we haven't seen it yet, but another Digimon, Dracmon, also evolves to an armor evolution, which is it's in the opening, so it's not a spoiler. It is Vmon and the Digimental of Purity.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I'm pretty sure Opossumon is like Patamon and Kindness or something. But I can't actually find anything. Is it not called Opossumon?
The one in this show is.
Yeah, I just can't find any information about Opossumon, and I just because usually you look up a Digimon and no, it's called Opossumon. I don't know why I couldn't find it. Okay, so Opossumon, I still can't find information about Opossumon. It's like some weird Fever Dream Digimon. No, I didn't mean Opossum the animal. I meant the Digimon. Wikimon will tell me. Okay, it is armor level, so I was right there. Okay, it is one of the adventure Digimon with the Digimental of Kindness.
Okay.
Can you guess which one?
Don't care.
It's Tailmon.
Okay.
Remember how some of the armor evolutions look like the Digimon with the armor on it? Yep, this one does not. Anyway, what about Dracmon?
I don't even know what that is.
The cute demon. He's my fave.
I still don't know what that is.
We do see it briefly. It is just a demon. We'll see him more later. What about Sagamon, which is the Kappa?
It's pretty mediocre design, and it's particularly weird because obviously there are two enemies in these two episodes that have sticks with like revolver barrels at the top.
Yeah.
It's him and Pinocchimon, so it feels particularly odd with Pinocchimon next episode.
Yeah, I getcha. What about Metal Tyrannomon? Which is actually a really old Digimon. It was actually
how have you not seen this before?
I don't think he's been in the anime, but he was in the version 5 of the V-Pet. That's how old he is as a Digimon. And then the version 5, I've mentioned before, is the one that they based it off all of the kaiju. So he is actually Mechagodzilla.
Huh,
Or,
weird.
or maybe Space Godzilla. I can't quite remember. I think Mecha Godzilla.
Particularly odd.
Yeah. What about Gumdramon? I love him.
Yeah, Gundram's got a really good design, because obviously he just takes two other designs, mashes them together, and puts a little vest on him.
Yep, and it's cute. What about Arrestramon?
I think it looks terrible. It looks awful. It is the worst. It is the worst main character evolution design.
Yes, I prefer Gumdramon.
Well, obviously.
It also looks too much like a step up.
But like, it's not even that. Like, obviously, like Omega Shoutmon looks like too much of a step up. It doesn't matter. But it makes sense for Omegamon to be a step up because, as I said, divine intervention. Nah, not necessarily.
And it also isn't necessarily an evolution. It is the future version of Shoutmon.
It is an evolution, though.
Yeah, it's an evolution, but they say once in the first episode where he's introduced.
But that's what all evolution is.
Well, this is like more like an actual becoming of this. This is him in the future, rather like it's like his aged up version. I don't know.
No, but that's what every evolution is. Every evolution is just aging them up now.
Yeah. Because
every Digimon can evolve eventually.
Right.
It just takes thousands of years.
What about Giga Breakdramon? He just color scheme. I like his color scheme.
Don't even need to comment. We've seen it before.
For Postmon Pat this week, first up we have a message on Slack, and then we have a comment on the With the Will thread. So I will read the Slack one, and Jay will read the With the Will one. So Disaster Area 42 on our Slack says, "So I'm catching up on the actual LiT episodes now that I'm up to where the show is. Xros Wars does cool things, but it's sandwiched between a lot of nothing, and the characters are all nonsense." I would totally agree with that, by the way. Yeah, it does do cool things, but there's a lot of nothing.
Haven't seen any cool things yet.
No, this is Xros Wars, as in the bit we already finished.
Fair enough.
There were cool things. Young Hunters does not do cool things. Anyway, so Disaster Area 42 says, "I see Jay's points in almost every instance of complaint about how bad the show is. I wouldn't rate them all as low as him, but it's pretty close." So yeah, that was... so
you were too generous is the conclusion.
I liked Xros Wars. I do think it does good things. It also does nothing.
Ding dong, you are wrong.
Young Hunters is, I guess, worse, but as I said, better.
Obviously, it's worse.
It's the buttered toast.
Just because it is physically sustenance doesn't mean it's good.
No, true, 100%. And
anyway,
would you like to
read...
With
the Will, we got one from Chuckmon who says, "I liked how even Kiriha noted in the show how lucky Zenjiro and Akari are after explaining how the Examon and Wargreymon Digimemories found/saved everyone. And the Basmon versus Chuchumon scene was classic. Kind of wish we got a little more story on Bagramon giving Kiriha's Digivice. I forgot that was even explained previously."
Oh yeah, I would have liked
so at the end of the story arc...
like just a flashback of that happening, right?
Yeah, ideally. Like, a bit more. At the end of the story arc, I'd be curious to know which of the two May and Jay prefer. The two of what? While people seem to popularly like the second arc better, personally I like the first. I find the zones and their inhabitants more engaging than the lands of the second arc. Likewise, they found Lilithmon, Blastmon, and Balmon to be more interesting than any of the Death Generals. Even Taiki had a more adventurous wardrobe in the first arc. The first arc is just better, because it introduces new ideas, I guess, and the second arc tries to bring those ideas together, and it's really boring.
Yeah, I would say the second arc is better in the way that it has better episodes, but the first arc has better ideas and not like it has some character moments. It goes with the mechanics a lot because it doesn't result to evolution and attacking better.
I think we can all agree that the entire thing is a slog.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that the second part does have better episodes. Like, it has the LotMon episode, which was the best episode in the season. And it will always... It will not be beaten.
Oh, Chuckmon. You're going to be so disappointed.
Do you think the LotMon episode was the best episode in Xros Wars?
Probably, yeah.
Because I actually cared. But, I don't think we'll have much nice things to say about Young Hunters. I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed watching it when I watched it 2 weeks ago.
Like, speaking of which, Chuckmon says, "Now, finally, onto Young Hunters. I've been waiting ages for this. I love Takiru and Ren. Oh, this is not going to go well. They can't wait to hear Jay's reaction
I'm sorry.
to this interesting story arc. Although the way they say that makes it sound sarcastic. So maybe they don't love him? Takiru has the best goggles of any gogglehead.
It is hard to read potential sarcasm in a forum post. Like, it could just be someone really excited. It could also be someone just saying, "I can't wait to hear Jay's thoughts about the best character, Takeru." But, like, you can actively like Toguro. He's fine, I guess.
Nah, you'd probably be super wrong. Alright, everybody, join us for the next episode of Run with the Wind, the targeted Honor students, Blossomon Smiley.
And Cuteness Caution, Cute Hunter Iru's Trap.
And Digimon Kendo Match, approaching the blade of Kotemon. Oh, maybe Zenjiro does come back?
I don't remember. And that's something I actually don't remember, so I'm going to say no.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember them being relevant for 20 episodes, so yeah. So we have some bird baths. We have a couple of bird baths. We have the 7th of November, we have Eugene and Anthony. And we have Stevie on the 9th. So hippity boop boop to all those three.
Happy birthday.
It's kind of past their bird baths now. It's the 15th.
Yeah, so close enough.
Hippity
do
boop
what we
boop.
can.
Though this episode's going to come out on the 17th. So it's very late burp burp. So the link dump's linked in the description, and a Redbubble is also linked in the description, and you can get more than just shirts there too. You can contact us and stay updated. You can email us at LostinTranslationmon@gmail.com, or you can comment on this episode, or message us on SoundCloud. You can follow us on @TranslationMon on Twitter, and you can find us on LostinTranslationmon on Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We have a discussion thread on With the Will, and a Reddit thread in the Digimon subreddit. And we would appreciate if you would review us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, any other podcast listening app you use. Ratings is people finding out about the podcast, so please do a review if you can. We have a website, you can vote in polls, check out our release schedule, and check out our blog posts.
And I've lost it on here. And you can donate to our Patreon, which is linked in the description, for as little as $1 a month, which gets you access to our listener Slack chat group, but there are higher levels with more rewards, such as notes, early episodes, and more. And thanks to our current Patreon supporters, Sam Krieger, Joe, Anime Guy, who's Anime Guy Kurosaki and the #1 on YouTube, Chuckmon, Stephen Reeves, who's who's just Wobbling64 on AO3, Kaidawashi, Mac, Chisai, who you can follow at Chisai236 on Tumblr, Kyle, the Lady Bugman, whose anime blog you can read at baguguragu.wordpress.com, Tom, Glitchgoat, Matthew, Anthony, who's at AntoClassic on Twitter, Lizmet, who's a Lekmon on Tumblr, Quinn, Sithobi, Megan, Neobu, The Time Optimist, Nicholas, Michael C., Starry, and Keith.
And you can also make a one-off donation on our PayPal, which can be found in the description. It's paypal.me/Urgemon. And make sure to listen to the podcast. We'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Bye!
And I'm going to have a go.